Hello again, everyone. I hope you're doing well on this Wednesday afternoon. Pleasure to be joined now by one of the head coaches over at Sanford MMA in South Florida, one of the best coaches in mixed martial arts right now. I've been trying to talk to this guy for quite some time. He has finally agreed to speak to us. I'm very excited to talk to Henri Hooft right now on the program. Henri, how are you?
I'm good, Ariel. Thank you for having me. And again, I didn't talk to nobody in between, so it's not because of you that I didn't speak to you so long. So
I understand. It's been a very busy time for you and the team. And so I appreciate you giving us some time here today. Obviously, one of the big stories this week, UFC 251, Kamaru Usman fighting, once again, defending his title. It was supposed to be Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Now it's Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, as you know. And when it was Usman versus Gilbert Burns, you were a major part of that story because Kamaru Usman has been training with you for years now. You were his main striking coach for so many years. You were by his side as he was coming up and when he won the title, of course. And of course, you have molded Gilbert Burns into one of the best fighters in the UFC as well. So this became a really interesting story. Then we found out that Usman moved to Colorado to train with Trevor Whitman, and it was going to be this, friend, colleague versus colleague, teammate versus teammate story. But now it's obviously not turning out that way. I still wanted to talk to you about it all. So first, let me ask you, if this fight was never booked, was Usman always going to leave Sanford MMA, or did he leave, according to what you know, just because he didn't want to train in the same place as Gilbert Burns?
yeah, no, I think Kamaru always is a part of our team. And when I spoke to him, he said Florida has always been my home base, and he went trade. He always, when he back in Dallas with family, he always pops up in the gym. He's been to a couple of gyms and also worked with Trevor. And Trevor's, of course, a very good coach. Trevor makes all my equipment, so I have a good contact with Trevor. And we talked about it too. And so no, I think Florida will always be his home base, and he's one of our team members for as long as I know. And all the guys in our gym respect him the same way. I don't think anything changed. I read only in the interview that somebody that he said that he wanted some extra attention. I think, like I said before, I don't want to get into too much drama because there really isn't. For me, he's my team member, one of my students. He's my world champion. He changed my life the way I changed his life, and we will see after this fight. But even when he left to Colorado, I really didn't train Gilbert. Everybody knows I didn't hold pads for him. Everybody else was working because I still consider them both of these guys my students. So it was a difficult time, And I don't know. I don't think Kamaru would have left for the whole camp, maybe for a couple of weeks. And I don't think that's something that's bad for some students. Also to see what's there and how that works with other people. As long as you keep your relationship real and also when your student goes to the right people, that's not really a problem. Because if you would go to somebody that I thought like, I don't know why you go there, then I probably had a discussion. And if he wanted to leave, I would say, good luck to you, But it wasn't. Me and Trevor have contact even when he's supposed to fight Gilbert. It was hard for me. I was a little heartbroken because it's two of my guys, It's bittersweet. And when I talked to Trevor, we had a real good talk, and he made me feel like, yeah, it's two of your guys. You have to be proud of that they came there, and that you all grow to be like that. So his face is in my gym. His photos are in my gym. His posters in my gym. He has so much family in my gym. Him and Robbie that piling up my office, man. These guys, they need to keep that away from me. But yeah. So hopefully he'll be back. We will see. But first he has a big fight, and I just texted him, by the way, see how he feels. So let's see.
Yeah, because I can't imagine as a coach, here you have a situation where you have two guys who you helped groom. You were a massive part of their maturation as fighter. And obviously Usman's the champ and Gilbert is having this incredible year. He beats Tyron Woodley. When he beats Woodley, the mix of emotions must have been really incredible for you, right? Like, what were you feeling inside? Because at that point you must have known, my gosh, this might be inevitable. I might have a real problem here. What were you thinking then?
Yeah, you have, and that's what Kamaru also said. We have Vicente Luque, Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, Danny Roberts still far away, but he's there. And we have a couple of very good 170 guys in the gym, also in Bellator, but in the UFC. And so there was always, we talked about it before. We thought first Vicente before he fought Wonderboy. Oh, if he beats Wonderboy, he's gonna be close to fighting Kamaru. So you always have to figure that out. It's very hard. If you have so many good fighters, like I said before, we have around 17 people in the UFC. You know, it's just a lot of people. And the competition is so high, and they get so much feed of each other. They get so much better that one day they will fight each other. And as a trainer, it's of course very hard. But that's why I said to you, that's why I didn't want to do any interviews with anybody, because I don't want to be the main role. These two guys are the main role. They did it. Of course, we helped out, but I don't want to choose any sides. I just don't want to do that, because I would just let them fight each other. And nowadays, with now no audience, it's more of a sparring match. They could have done it even here in Florida in the cage. Cameras on it. And if you see these guys spar, they spar like they're fighting. Like, it's really true. Our sparring is really hard. They go hard, and that's probably a part of our success. Yeah, I know mixed feelings, but again, like I said, it's all about these two guys. And now it's just sad to hear that one guy's dream is taken away. And, but I'm happy that, of course, Kamaru can show this Saturday why he's the champ, you know?
Once Kamaru decided to go to Colorado, and obviously you're at the gym and you've played a big part in Gilbert's rise, why didn't you work with Gilbert?
Well, I just think, and again, because if you have a problem with a fighter or your bad terms, I can understand it. But I don't think it's fair if you've been so long with each other, so loyal. You have to understand, our fighters bring their children in the gym. My wife takes care of the children. It's like we have a really good bond. So it's just very hard to be in the middle. And I did 3.5 weeks ago, I did my last pet session with Usman on a day when he came in. And I did the last pet session the day after in Gilbert's garage. And the rest, Gilbert trained at the gym, but I didn't give him any advice, or because at the end of the day, both these guys know how they have to fight each other. And I've never been in this position before at this level that I had to have this around the gym. But it was a good decision for Kamaru to go over there. He had his camp over there. Gilbert did his thing over here. All our students that train with Gilbert train also with Kamaru. And there's nobody saying, Kamaru's left ear is hurting or his pinky is not good. They fight each other every day. They know exactly what they're going to do. So that was the intriguing part of it. And I think for me, it's just better to step out of it and not take sides. Again, because if you stand in somebody's corner, they think you're against the other guy. And I'm not against the other guy, because the other guy is my champion. It's hard. And yeah. And some people ask me also, like, okay, you can just go there and sit in the audience and just enjoy two of your but it's not. I probably wouldn't even look at the fight. Not because I'm scared, but I just let them figure it out, and then we will see it the next day at MMA Junkie or something. You know what happens. So it's not so easy as it looks.
Once Gilbert was forced to pull out of the fight, was there any talk of you cornering Kamaru?
No, I think also, first of all, the time frame was really weird, because I was in Vegas with Sato, one of my Japanese guys, and a great fight. And I stayed a day longer in Vegas. Because I'm supposed to train Gilbert anyway, so I think I stay a day longer. I have some celebration with my Japanese friend and everything. And then some stuff happened, and I went back on Monday night, and then he was leaving the next day, and it went so fast that it was already halfway up that everything came about. And then there was no thought of me, and I don't know if there was a thought on Kamaru's side, but he was already on his way back to Dallas to come back to Florida to pick up his daughter and be with his daughter. So the time frame was so weird and everything. And it already has his people where he trained with for 3.5 weeks. Trevor, his brother is always in the corner. George Santiago is with me always at every fight. So again, we texted, and he went back to Vegas, and it went so fast, and now he's there and he's been prepared. So no, it's good like this.
Has Kamaru told you that once this fight is over, he's coming back to the gym?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, but what happens now, because it's Masvidal, right? So there's a very good chance that he wins this fight. They're going to go back to Gilbert, right? They're going to do the Gilbert fight.
So, but like we said before, when we had that little talk, sit down with each other, with the other coaches, and he said, I'm going to go there, do my camp there. And he said, but I'm going to be back here. This is my home base, so whatever happens, I'm just going to do that for now. And we all agreed upon it. So I think that's still the same thing. He still needs to come back to pick up his post. But yeah, if he will fight Gilbert again, then we have the same situation. And we do exactly the same. I will do exactly the same. I will stay out of it. I will stay out of everything, because again, they're two of my guys. But like I said to you before, it's crazy, man. I have 3 people in LFA this weekend. Then we got like Bellator, UFC. Once one FC is going to pick up. We have like around 35 high-level fighters here, and we have 3 coaches. So
Wow.
it's a hard work, and that's why I'm so happy that we partner up with Sanford Health. So our budget is going up a little bit. We got a brand new facility, and these people give us the opportunity to get a bigger staff. And I want to do a lot of stuff. Developmental team. I want to turn this thing into an NFL kind of NBA kind of program. That's my next task, really.
And I want to ask you about the relationship with Sanford in a minute. But first, I want to read you a quote that Kamaru gave my colleague, Brett Okamoto at ESPN. He said, quote, "I think eventually I would have changed things up anyway. We had a lot of welterweights at the gym. At some point, when you're training with these guys on a daily basis and you're the champion of the world, these guys know you in and out. And if they get the better of you one day, they're licking their chops thinking it's their time. A little separation from that is good. It keeps that element of surprise because these guys feel like they know you." What do you make of that quote? Do you agree that eventually he would have had to
Yeah,
change things up?
yeah, I think so. I think he made the right decision, and again, if everything goes with respect, and that's on both sides for sure, with me and my fighters, is yeah, I understand that, totally understand that, and also he understands we talked about it. He understands also the coaches' feelings, because we can't just train one guy. Of course, we do separate trainings with our guys, but I think the strength of our team is that these guys all train together at some certain days and do things together, and it's only a good sign of your guys' work if all these guys getting to the next level, and that's why it's good. Like a lot of people do. Even Pacquiao did it. He went somewhere for another camp. It's good to go somewhere else and be around other people and see what's the difference. Especially at that level, and especially at his point of his career. There's a lot of young, hungry, upcoming fighters, and I totally understand it. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that quote. I understand what he means.
Is there any part of you that worried a little bit he goes over there and he really likes it and doesn't come back?
No, not really. Because first of all, I think where he trains, Trevor again is a really, really good coach. Again, we have a really good relationship. I really like Trevor, so I don't think there's any worrying for me, because again, I already built that house together with him. That's the way I call it. I built the house. If there will be another trainer, I will see that as somebody who puts nice curtains in and a sofa. But the house was already built. We changed each other's life. If it stops here, and I don't think it will stop here. Again, Florida is his home base. He has his teammates. I think we did a great thing, And no, it all goes when you do stuff with respect and understanding. And I was a fighter before. I trained at a couple of other gyms, but I did my last couple of fights with my first coach. So if you do it with respect, then nothing is really wrong. There's always a door is always open again when you want to come back. Your teammates are open for it. Respect is the most important thing that you need. And again, you cannot stop people if they want to learn something somewhere else. It's good for them to see how it is somewhere else. So, no, it's good.
How's Gilbert feeling?
He's good. He's good. He had some headaches. That's the only thing that he really had. Like with this crazy thing, a lot of people have like no symptoms.
Yeah.
That's probably also the scary thing. But no, he had some headaches, and he's good. He's relaxing with the family. He's been training. He's been fighting in March, May. So he fought a lot. So he's been chilling and relaxing. And I think he get retested next week. And when he's cleared to come back, he's going to help out, because we got, again, like I said, we got Logan Storley. He's fighting Bellator soon. We got a couple of guys that we need help with. And that's a good thing about our guys too. Everybody after the fight, Sato is going to be back. These guys are going to be back, because at this moment in the UFC and in the MMA world, you get a call. You can fight in 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. Your opportunity is there. You cannot say, I need an 8-week training camp. That's a good thing about. And also Kamaru, they're always in the gym. They're always ready to go. So that's a good thing. They never take a break or something. So he'll be soon.
Any concerns, obviously as one of the head coaches at Sanford, about, trying to keep the guys healthy, because, obviously what happened to Gilbert was very unfortunate. I know Ong Lang Sang tested positive as well. These guys it's impossible to not be around each other, right? And you're sweating and all this stuff. Any concerns about, and you're in Florida, and it unfortunately hasn't been very good in Florida. Are you concerned about that, about keeping the guys healthy and not allowing an outbreak to happen at the gym?
Yeah, no, for sure. But of course, we always worried about certain stuff. But the guys that are training now for the fights are already tested. Like they're already tested, because now they're smart enough to think, okay, we need to get tested sooner than later, because if you get tested positive, you lose your paycheck. So we split up. We have 2 locations. So the people that are really, really have no symptoms and haven't been tested, they train at the first location, and they're all good. And the guys that have fights coming up, they're training only with people that are already tested. So yeah, we try to do as much as possible. But again, we had one house where 4 fighters were. 2 were negative, 2 were positive. One got retested, he was negative, and he got tested positive after. It's like, it's so weird, It's very difficult to handle. But again, the guys, Jason Jackson, Matt Madison, Matt Mitrione, these guys, they train with the guys that already tested and they're already good. So we try to do the best we can. So.
Do you have to do extra cleaning in between? I mean, I know you're always cleaning, but do you have to do extra things now?
Yeah, we do when we come in, and we have to wear a mask when we come in. They do a temperature check in the gym. Of course, sanitize everything. Like even in the new gym, the cages, the walls where we stand, everything is sanitized a couple of times a day. Yeah, we try to do whatever is possible. You have to understand, we also have around 20, 30 NFL guys now in the gym, because they're getting ready for the season. So, yeah, we try to do whatever is possible. Again, I am not a doctor, so I don't want to get into the politics side of it. But I've been tested now around 9 times, and I've been sweating with these guys because I hold the pads. I really train every day with these guys. I got tested a couple of days ago, and I'm still negative. It's so weird, right? And I'm an old man with a beer belly. So I don't know, man. It's weird.
What is it going to be like for you on Saturday? Will you even watch the fight? There's your student, a guy who you helped become UFC champion. I believe your first UFC champion, right? When he beat Tyron Woodley, and you're at home and he's fighting his bitter rival, Masvidal. It's such a big fight. What is that going to be like for you? And will you even watch it?
Yeah, I'm going to watch this one because it's different, of course. And I want to, of course, I'm going to just support him. Like I said, last week I sent him a little message about the fight, about Masvidal, who I really respect, because I really like people like that just come to fight too. Although sometimes the talking is a little bit too much for me, not only Masvidal, but with everybody. But I know it's now a part of the game. But I really like Masvidal, so I sent him a message what I think, and we had a little conversation about it. But no, I'm very intrigued about this fight, because I want to see if again. It's been 8 years training this guy. People underestimate his stand-up too. I think it's going to be really intriguing to see if he does what he does normally and maybe add something. I don't know, but and it's also intriguing to see how Masvidal fights this fight, because as a pure from the outside looking guy, it's a real good matchup, But I think, because I like to see Masvidal fight every fight, and of course, Usman is my guy. Intriguing fight, but like I said before, if Usman trains the way he always trains, he's so focused, and he takes the steps better by better, he gets better by better. He's a difficult guy to beat, very difficult guy to beat for anybody. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Would you have watched it if it was Burns versus Usman?
No.
You just really?
I wouldn't just watch it again. I just sit here in my garden, wait till the fight is over, and then just hear it and see it back.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in it then that moment, because I just want them both. Is his dream is to become champion, and the other person is the champion. So it's just hard, to pick side. In kickboxing, I never really had it too. We had like at the K1 there when I trained Peter and so, and then I know Ernesto. They all fought each other, but it was different. This is just, I don't know, because 8 years. I mean, Gilbert from the beginning, and then Usman really from the beginning. So that's a long time, That's not. And like I always say, I'm not just I'm a trainer. I'm very personal too. Like I said, the kids come here. We go to their homes. We're close people, So it's not so easy.
I was thinking of you when he unfortunately had to pull out of the fight, because at that point you got all the way up to a week before the fight. Okay, this uncomfortable situation is going to come to an end. and then he's out, and now you're going to have to go through this if Usman wins all over again. So I was wondering, like, you were probably sad for Gilbert, but also, oh my gosh, now this is going to be delayed. So we're going to have to, because it was about to end at some point, right? They were going to fight and
Yeah,
you would have to move on. So how did you
yeah,
feel when you heard the news?
yeah. Like you described it. Like again, in between, like okay, they're not gonna fight each other. Sad, but I'm like, okay, they're not gonna fight each other. Then he's gonna fight Masvidal. Okay, if he wins that fight, he's still gonna fight Gilbert. So we're gonna get back to the same stuff again.
Uh,
Um, it's but again, it's inevitable. I mean, again, Vincent fights 2-3 fights. You have 3 devastating knockouts. He's so close too. It's just like it's weird, Well, I don't know. It's 170 guys are also like, and Kamaru played a big part of it. He made a lot of these 170 guys so much better because his wrestling, also his striking, and then Gilbert with his BJJ and all that mixture. All these fighters around them, they feed off of that, and they get so much better that you got a pool of people. Like I said, 6, 7, and with the Bellator, maybe 10 people at 170. Jason Jackson, Logan Storley, these guys are all like so close and so good that that's hard. And again, it's a luxury position when you have all these good fighters in your gym, and you really want to you train your team to become one of the best teams in the world and one of the best fighters in the world. But you never really predict that they're going to fight each other. I always thought like, okay, Gilbert's at 155, but I always said to Gilbert, you need to go 170, and he will tell you that from the start. I would never wanted him at 155 because he got so much weight. But I'd always thought, Kamaru is going to be there for a couple of years, then the next person come. But Kamaru was planning to stay there a couple more years. So,
just 2 more things before I let you go, if I can. Usman Masvidal, since you're not involved, can you tell us how you think it's going to go down?
Yes, I'm always bored when I give these answers. I always say I cannot look in the future, blah blah blah, whatever. But like I said before, I'm a big fan of Masvidal. Really, I am. He's a great guy, and I really every time he fights, I tune in, even if I have to pay for it, because he's an exciting fighter. I like his style of fighting. I like everything around him. But I still think that at 170, and I said it to everybody, even Gilbert, everybody, at 170, if he trains right and he's focused, it's very difficult to beat Kamaru Usman. He took the right steps to become the champion. He also takes the right steps in training. Of course, I didn't see all of it now, but I assume he does exactly the same things. He's very focused. So I think he will win the fight, and he stay champion, and he will fight Gilbert Burns. But in MMA, everything is possible. It's like that's why everybody wants to see it. It's different than boxing. It's just different. So, but I go for my guy. Champion stays champion.
Of course. Now, could you explain to us why what you guys are doing in South Florida at Sanford MMA is so unique, so special, and different from what we've seen? You mentioned teaming up with Sanford Health based in South Dakota. I mean, you guys are teaming up with, an actual real, medical facility that is, I think, changing the way athletes, MMA fighters in particular, are preparing for fights. And the thing that you have going on there is really special. It was Black Zillions and Hard Knocks 365, and now what you've built. And perhaps, dare I say, it doesn't get enough attention in our sport, maybe because it's new and it's different. I don't know. But can you explain why this is so special and so unique, and why it's working so well with Sanford?
Yeah. Well, what's so special is, and what people don't understand is the health part about it. Our fighters, we have a career that's not so long, and we have a lot of injuries. But also after fighting, what happens with fighters, and that's the cool thing about getting involved with a health company. First of all, all our athletes have now a backup of a real health facility. They built a brand new facility. It's like a little bit like the PI, UFC PI. I only think it's a little different, but it's like very modern. They're building a clinic for our guys, but also for the NFL, NBL, for everything that's professional sport related, with MRI machine, with recovery rooms and everything. So all our main athletes can have access to that. So we have an orthopedic surgeon on call. So when you have a real injury, then make sure you get the right treatment. We got sponsors along the way, like Don Joy in Crediwear for the braces for all the fighters. So what our plan was, me and our partners, was that we wanted to create something more, and not only for the fighters, but also for the coaches and for the gym itself. Because at the end of the day, Ariel, it's about the fighters. We know that. But I was a fighter myself too. It always starts with a teacher and a gym. And it's not fair when everybody else goes to the next level, money-wise too, make more money, get more attention, and the trainers and the coaches just stay there a little bit in the middle and end up broke or losing their jobs and without having something. This is something different. We build a new facility. We are planning to put all our fighters, fighters that are stopped fighting. We try to put them in our organization. So we really want to try to make it a real team in sense of from the start to the end. You know, from the young fighters getting into a developmental team with assistant coaches. When they're good enough, they will go to the pro team a couple of times a week. Then they have access to everything that comes with it, the health facility. And then our big fighters, our big professional fighters. When Ong fought in Brandon Vera in Asia, we had our orthopedic surgeon flying with him because he had a knee injury. We even have a private plane to our access if we really, really need to fly people around for surgeries or very, very big fights. And again, like I said, with a big sponsor like that, with a good name, small co-sponsors will come and they will grow the company. And it's important that the company is healthy. Because before I was with the Black Zillions, everybody know what happened. Then we went to Hard Knocks, was all our own money with a big overhead. And everybody that runs the gym know how important it is that the money comes in from the fighters. If you have a gym, otherwise you won't end up with nothing. But because of this sponsorship, we have the possibility of our overhead is covered by our sponsor. So we can put all the time, the trainers can put all the time in the fight. It's not thinking about them fighting or not. If they're not healthy, they don't need to fight because we have an income, you know, that's guaranteed. And again, most importantly, to build a relationship with a health company, because again, for the fighters, it's very important. Your career is very short. You break your leg or you pull your shoulder or whatever, and you're out of fighting for 2 years. You need to have the right people that push you to the right direction. And your after career is very, very important. And they also do neuroscience. They do a lot. They're really interested in MMA. So it's a powerhouse that backs us. And I'm very proud that we could have get these people on board for the next couple of years and try to change the game a little bit from our side. So they say fighters need a union to change stuff. I think more if companies like Sanford and bigger companies get involved, they will change the sport for us, I think.
Well, Henri, congratulations on the partnership. It's great. And all the fighters speak very highly of what you guys are doing there. And it's also, I know, an uncomfortable situation with Gilbert and Kamaru, but it's a testament to what you've done as a coach, right? When you have two of the very best fighters in a particular weight class wanting to get the gold. I mean, it's nothing more than just a testament to what you've built over there and the kind of coach